Good afternoon, everybody. I am attorney Danyl Patterson, candidate for the 190th. For those who don't know, that's West Philly, baby. So today we've got some of Mill Creek's finest joining us, and I'm going to be joined in just a second by Ted Smith, who's been a community activist basically since birth, basically right alongside me. And it's really hilarious because until he started looking like, the Wolf Man, because I could talk about him because he's here. Everybody thought that Ted was so young. I always forget that he's, in my age group. We came up together so long. So he's going to tell you about himself, the things that have been going on in the 190th, how you can get involved, how we can help each other. It's going to be just an afternoon good time. I tell everybody, make sure your friends are here. So tag and like and share. And make sure you got your questions and comments because we always have some answers, and when we don't know, we find them. Hey Ted, how you doing?
Hey Danyl, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So thank you so much for coming on today. There's always so much going on in the community, and you teach me so much. For some reason, if you want to know what's going on in the community, Ted has the email for you, the flyer for you, the connect for you, the contact for you. He's got all of those things. Is that not true, Ted? And that's always been.
I guess a lot of people say it, so I guess it is true. But I want to thank you first and foremost for allowing me to be on your show. I appreciate all the work that you have done in the past for our community, for our people. I stay encouraged by you. I stay motivated by you to continue to see how you are just, dodging the punches and then continue to stay strong in this battle with whether it's COVID-19 or whether it's in the courtroom. So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I do, and I appreciate you. So
Oh,
first,
and don't talk about my Corona cut.
look, I think the best meme of the coronavirus, except for, I don't know, we were just talking about this because y'all know I got to be off on tangents. So first, I don't know. Okay, so in my mind, I might be Megan Thee Stallion. Y'all don't know this in my mind. So now I'm Megan Thee Stallion. Before I might have been a gangster rapper. Okay, I was a whole gangster rapper in my mind. But in my mind now, I'm like Megan Thee Stallion. So it's like, because it's ratchet. And I like ratchet stuff because a lot of times what's going on in the ratchet music, we say, oh, I don't like it because it's whatever, and this and that and the third. It tells us what people are actually thinking about, what people are actually talking about. It tells us what's really going down the street. So I kind of look past the ratchet of it all and try not to pass judgment on that. And I try to listen to what they're trying to say. Because, Ted, me and you, we came of age in the golden age of rap when it was really our means of protest. It was our voice. And so I still even see, except for the mumble rap, mostly because I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I try, so I can't get down with that. However, I'm gonna tell you, all of that, I don't know when they was cooking. The dude he was the panda. I was trying to figure out how you growing yards in the pan. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out. And I'm still trying to the dude that the trap house he was doing. I don't know. I was really confused what the trap was. I had to go and ask somebody. And then I was like, wow, they still do drugs. Like,
Yeah, they still do.
Like I didn't know he was still like, why is he cooking in the trap house? I'm like, what's wrong if you cooking in the trap house? I was like, why is this a problem? But okay, so that it's enough about the fact that I'm old.
We old.
Yeah, we old together.
Yeah,
so we're connected. So the whole
absolutely.
point is, Megan Thee Stallion has this song called Savage. And I ain't never really listened to the words. I just hear the beat in the mind, the background. But now I really can't listen to it because all I hear is the Carol Baskin song from the Tiger King. It's like, and I was like, so all I hear is something because it's supposed to go because I'm a savage, but all I hear is Carol Baskin. Okay. I'm stuck in the house just like you are. Okay. Quarantine got me, and Netflix had me all the way with the Tiger King and Joey Exotic and all the crazy illegality of everything that was going on there. Just that's all. And I'm gonna tell you that Carol Baskin killed her husband. That's all I'm going to
end the story.
Carol Baskin killed. We can't agree on much.
There's still some people who didn't see it, so shh.
Oh, I'm saying we can't agree on much, but I think that in quarantine 2020, we can agree that Carol Baskin killed her husband. So anyway, so Ted and I were just laughing about the fact that we were stuck watching that together and got obsessed with it. So Ted,
yes.
Tell us, the community folks who don't know you, all three of them who are going to log in, about yourself.
Well, my name is Ted Smith. Grew up in Haddington / Mill Creek area. been there all my life, actually for generations. My grandmother, my mother, now myself, and hopefully I have something to pass down to my children. I've been in the community. I've actually been doing the community works for about a couple years now. I've been the committee person. This is my second
Decade.
term.
It's been a decade. He was trying to act like it's been a decade. Anyway.
So it's been some time, yes. It actually been a long time because I was a Boy Scout, so that's where kind of my community activism, I would say, kind of stems from, because it was more about keeping our community clean. What can we do for our community? How can we help our seniors? And I learned that early on as a scout. So I became a committee person in 2014.
Okay.
And I'm doing my second term as a committee person. And I just been trying to do work and trying to work with people such as yourself.
Well, so I'm going to back up a little bit because Ted's a little bit humble here because I've been a committee person, so I've been working since then. And I think this is what we often forget. People are working a long time before they're ever elected in any capacity to do anything. They're called to do that. And Willie Singletary, hi, how you doing? See, that's right, Ted, because I can see and you can't. So Willie Singletary said hello to you all, and Bernard Williams just checked in. Hey, back. And we were, but long time before you actually ever elected something, there's that calling to want to help people.
Yes.
And I personally think that your calling to want to help people went all the way back to you deciding to choose a career in the armed forces.
Yes. I'm a military veteran.
Yes, and people don't know that, so tell us about that. Like, why did you decide to join? Coming out of Central.
Honestly,
all the girls that didn't go to Girls House.
Yeah, exactly. When I made the decision, well, actually, it's a generational thing. So my father was in the military, my grandfather was in the military. So I kind of basically followed that path. Once again, back to scouting, it kind of introduced me into being out in the wilderness, doing certain things, starting fires, and I really like being out in the woods. I'm a Virgo, so I'm an earthly person, so I like doing things like that. And once I had the opportunity, I was just out here just doing nothing, and I saw where my friends were going, and I didn't want to go there. So I said, what other choice can I do where I can travel and make money at the same time? So I said, let's go to the military. So I joined. I left in like 2 weeks, and I was joined and was out, and the rest is history. I've lived in Korea, Busan, South Korea. I lived in Houston. I lived in Killeen, Texas, and that was about where I was stationed at in Georgia.
So you are truly an example of you've seen the world and came back to the 190th.
Yes. I felt my community needed leadership. Our community needs people to look up to, and we need more role models who are neighbors, not just people who are on television.
I would say to everybody. So, and I'm sure you know this, Ted. One of the biggest thing about me, and you guys know that I ran for judge. And it didn't get it so much then, but especially when I said that, okay, I'm going to do the state rep seat, the very first thing that happened was that people actually challenged that I lived there. And I don't mean like challenged it like on my petitions and things. I'm talking about because people don't believe that people who've acquired the kind of education I have or who've worked in different places I've worked would ever want to come back and live in the 190th. Mm-hmm. And I had to remind them, not only did I come back and live in the 190th, I never left except for education. And it was always where I've been home because, you come back every year, in May from school. So I've never lived, I've never claimed as residence anywhere besides the 190th, because I've always thought that it's important that those folks who are behind me, they see success. Those kids walking up and down the street, they need to see it. Hey, Rhonda Hill Wilson. Oh, this is the first time I caught her on. They need to see that success. And so I see that Ted is very like-minded with me there.
Absolutely.
Before we actually get started about what's actually going on in the 190, I like to talk about current events. So it's because it's always a lot going on, and we got to cover these things because we see them and it's the news that's not designed for us. It's kind of like not broken down to the issues that we care about, and they're not presented in ways that we can kind of relate to. So there are two things that are going on right now. We got the fight at the federal level about money, okay? Stimulus package number 2 and what that means. And everybody wants to understand that. And then even more closely, we got the fight and the backlash against SEPTA for wanting to protect their workers. So we're going to start with SEPTA and wanting to protect their workers because I came to you all yesterday to talk about that. And when I say I came to you, I came to y'all with no makeup on. I didn't have any of my wigs, let alone the good wig. I had to put on lip gloss while we sat there because I realized my lips were chapped once the video went live and I was still, chewing gum because our mama would die. Hey, Abu, there you. Oh, Abu's over here. How you doing, Abu?
Brother Boo.
Yeah, there you go. Um, Another one of our young leaders who also, threw his hat in the political ring. That's right, because you know what? You got to put your time and your dime on those things that you talk about. And I applaud him for, having the courage to go out there and challenge for a seat because he challenged for a seat. And that was really fabulous. So thank you, Abu. And both Ted and I have worked with him in various capacities. And so anyway, so the SEPTA workers were threatening a strike yesterday. Well, we didn't know they were threatening a strike. I come to you and I was talking to you about the conditions that have been being reported that are going on our buses and our subways and our Ellen subway, sorry, because that's all that's running now. Isn't that right? The trolleys don't run. So
yeah, no trolleys. I haven't seen a trolley.
It's a limited bus line and the market L line with limited stops, and the subway also with limited stops. And I think I didn't explain this to you all. So my offices are in Center City. My normal office is right across the street from Love Park. And the city spent something like $15 million to redo Love Park. I mean, and it's beautiful. And it's like opioid city over there. It is. It's opioid, and so we spent all this money because it was going to be a great haven for tourism and all those kind of things. But you can't sit on a bench because they laying on them all the time. People are scared to be out there with their kids because this is what they're bathing in the water spurts up there, or they got the plugs for the phones. So that's how they charge their phones. And I understand that we do have a crisis, but it's not healthy. That's the thing. It's not healthy. So now we have the opioid. So now we have the pandemic going on, and the Rangers came because we do have park rangers that are over there in Love Park and at various other places in the city, and they drove them out of those areas. Well, where didn't they drive them? Right on underground to SEPTA. So they went underground to the hallways of the subway, to the hallways of the Market Street line, or this, you can one fare and you can stay on the L all day. You don't have to get off. Yep. So they're riding them back and forth. That's where they're sleeping until comes time for them to actually, park the train, for no other way to put it is, And so now what's happened? We know we've had several SEPTA workers who died. We know that their infection rate is off the chain. And we know that they don't have any PPE. They're not even, so SEPTA isn't even providing it to their workers. They have the uniform that they wear, and that's what they have. So the SEPTA workers said enough is enough. And they went to their leadership, their union, and put together basically a walkout plan. And I protect and promote the rights of all workers, not just the workers that I like, okay, or the workers that are popular. And when I say that, everybody had all of the sympathy and empathy in the world for healthcare workers and what they're going through right now. But nobody had any empathy or sympathy for what the SEPTA folks were going on. And I mean, it went rampant all up and down my timeline yesterday when folks actually started talking about not what they were living with or dealing with. It was kind of like, well, y'all make a lot of money, and you should basically, apparently, did you know you should be risking your life now to drive to be the train engineer, Ted?
Who would think?
I don't know, the people. So okay, so they are the same people that tell Trump what's good. Like it's never, when I've been hearing, and they said there's nobody in particular because nobody wants to put their name on anything. But it's the collective they, the voices were really being raised against the SEPTA workers and the strike. And so the question just was, well, what if the healthcare workers decided to, oh yes, Shani, the sanitation workers, we will definitely get to that because the reason I was out yesterday was because of Earth Day. And when I wanted to see our earth, I wanted to see what our community was looking like. And this is where Ted is going to jump in because the cleanliness of the community has been his long-standing issue.
Yes.
Yes. And Ted is definitely one who promotes that the cleanliness is next to godliness
Yes, it is.
and has organized numerous cleanups up and down Mill Creek in Haddington.
Yes. Yeah, so it kind of kicked off actually when I about 2016 when I decided that I was going to possibly take the plunge to run. And I ran because I was tired. I ran because I felt as though I had a lot of issues with the community. We had a deli just opened up down the street, which brought a lot of trash and litter and small crime, car breaks-ins and stuff like that, falling asleep on people's steps. So those are the things that kind of motivated me to run and motivated me to take more charge of my community. The block I lived on is about 90% home ownership. Most of the people on the block have been there for decades. And we have a very, very nice block, and we always come together as a block to clean. But I said, okay, now how do we take this to the next level to where we go a little outside of our boundaries, but yet still within our community? So we started cleaning the tennis courts on 52nd and Wolusin. We've also been cleaning the playground, cat a corner to that at 52nd and Wolusin. We actually marked it because we understand that gentrification is coming. Well, it's not coming, it's here. And until we start marking and caring for what is ours in our communities, then others will come and take it from us. So therefore, we decided to place a placard outside of 52nd Wolusin in front of the playground to let everyone know that there are concerned citizens who live in this community, who have been in this community, who would like to see a clean community. To me, it's always distressing when you see children walking and stepping over trash just to go to school. To me, that puts a whole damper on their day just from the start. So how do we get our children to have a better day even going into school? To me, it's by the things that they see as they're going to school. So having a clean neighborhood and a clean block to me is essential to having, or at least the start of having a better neighborhood and more community pride.
So when I and I agree, and actually for the Danyl Patterson for 190th campaign, I will say that the guys on my campaign, I have to give them all this credit. I do, because this was their issue and they were determined that we were running with it. Because what they saw, not just about the cleanliness of the community, which is, that's a city issue that we can work in tandem with, but they saw it as a public health issue. Because we're in the middle of this pandemic. How are we going to get well when we're putting trash on the street that has the germs? So walking up and down 52nd Street, you see the masks disposed of, you see the gloves disposed of, the trash is overflowing. They're only picking up recycling every other week, but everybody got, recycling bins full of plastic bottles they've been directly drinking out of. They've got plastic forks they've been using to eat. In addition, so as a result, we had a serious problem. So the guys from my campaign organized and said, Danyl, this is what we're doing. So you come on out here and come clean up this playground, this park. We picked different areas, and that's what we've been doing. And they have been doing a great job. But more importantly, and I think the most important thing about what they've been doing, what they put together, is that they then take the trash out. Meaning, so once they get it all up, because that's another problem. People organize these cleanups all the time, and then they don't have anything to do with the trash because the city doesn't come and get it. So, it becomes, that's the hardest part of trying to work that together. But back to our, employment issue. So that's right, Shani. So now you got the SEPTA workers who haven't been dealing with it. They didn't think they were going to be in a life or death kind of, basic essential kind of job. Sanitation workers don't think they're going to be in life and death, just picking up the trash. But that's the world that we live in right now. And we have to protect them. Could you imagine if you had to take out, in the house right now, people to use the gloves to take out trash?
Yep.
So if that's in your house for your trash, why would I want to go and pick up your trash person I don't know without the proper equipment? Why would I want to be driving the bus or engineering the train with, people sitting right next to me, right behind me, breathing on me? And y'all know the new thing is they want to spit on you.
Yeah.
Not just the opioid people this is like a new thing. It's all over the news. People just spitting on people.
And that's disgusting. I think and especially in these days and times where not only do we have COVID-19, we also have hepatitis. We have so many other various diseases. To me, that's assault. You don't have to put your hands on me to assault me.
Actually, I think it probably is assault. Because again, I told you, me and the lawyer friends talk about random things, and we were actually talking about whether or not that is a chargeable offense. And you know what? And we were talking about it, and then last night the lady got arrested. The police are actually out looking for her because they got the video of her sitting on two customers. Because on top of that, it's not just assault, but I don't know what you have. It's kind of like it's another loathsome disease situation.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, oh, someone spit on Teresa Lundy says somebody spit on me, we're gonna have a problem. Well, Teresa, I don't know. So actually somebody, what they said was they must not have spit on the right person because
yeah, exactly.
they must not they exactly, they weren't in Mill Creek or Haddington or Carroll Park when they spit on somebody. They were somewhere. They were somewhere else in a store with a camera where like that's what she could do. But so that that's just kind of an update on that. So in the end, SEPTA decided they weren't going to strike, and they're back to negotiation tables. Sorry, SEPTA workers decided they're not going to strike, and they went back to the negotiation tables. But I want to really give SEPTA workers big ups. One, for the side recognizing that they really are the lifeblood of our community. I give them all the credit because I know that our seniors can't get anywhere without SEPTA by and large. And also because I just remind everybody, cars can be on the road and all this congestion, but in the hood, SEPTA reigns supreme. People had to be able to get around, and that they're relying upon it. So I give them all the ups for continuing to make sure those lines are running so our essential workers can get where they need to be, and so that our seniors and our community people can get to be where they need to be when they're not staying at home like they're supposed to be. So when those emergencies arise. But speaking of emergencies, we're here to provide you with resources today. And like I told you, Ted is the guy with all the resources. So there are three specific that he wants to tell you about that are actually going on. And the first deals with the thing that everybody's feeling at the magnitude is food insecurities. We've been talking about the food insecurities here at Danyl Patterson for the 190 now for the entire month that we've been on. I can't believe it's a month. Like we got a month-long TV show. And 100,000 viewers. Woo-hoo. Our month-long TV show, podcast coming to your living room, but everybody's having food insecurities, but they're not the food insecurities that we're thinking about. So one of the things like, I gave away food. Well, you gave away food in a line where people are not supposed to be out, and so you have to go risk your life to go get food. Well, a lot of our seniors and things can't go get it because they're physically and unable to carry it. And then a lot of folks need prepared food. So there's actually an organization that's partnering with, go ahead, Ted, tell them about one of your organizations that you sit on the board of.
Well, the 16th Police District is partnering with Lavish Restaurant, and they're having a food giveaway. You have to register through email through one of the police officers, Officer Courtney Smith. I can give you her information. It's Courtney.
Wait a minute, Courtney. Wait a minute. Courtney Smith. Go ahead. Wait a minute. I can spell. I used to be able to. Okay. that was pre-corona. Okay. Courtney Smith.
It's Courtney.Smith at phila.gov. And the telephone number is 215.
Wait a minute, at phila.gov.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the phone number is 215
686 3160.
So okay, y'all. Courtney Smith at phila.gov or 215-686-3160. That's Courtney Smith at phila.gov. Sorry, Courtney.Smith at phila.gov, 215-686-3160. For anybody, now there's some rules to this. You have to register. They only have 50 people. And when you register, you have to tell them what it is that you're going to choose to eat. They tell you what the available platters are. After this, I'll actually put up the flyer so you can look at it, so you'll be ready. Because they giving like they giving out, the gospel bird and some macaroni and cheese and yams. So I know that y'all gonna be on this. Okay. So again, Courtney.Smith at phila.gov 215-686-3160. And what is the date of that giveaway? That's Soul Fed Sundays.
Yes, it's going to be this Sunday.
Okay, and the latest that you can register is Saturday. So, but all of y'all are going to register today. We're going to be first. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to make sure that we get that flyer up for you. That's one. And then, okay, our veteran over here, hey, he's got something for the veterans. What you got there, Ted?
We got some jobs. The VA Medical Center is hiring for nurses.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I have that information and where you send your email to, but they're hiring specifically for veterans. And
okay, and nurses is CNAs, LPNs, RNs. Which ones? Nurses, any kind of nurses.
It says nurses, so I'm assuming it's everything.
Okay.
Yep. In nursing.
Okay.
Also, the VA is also hosting a virtual job fair.
When is that?
It's going to be April 23rd.
Today. What time?
Hey, whoops, 10 to 6. So you got till 6 o'clock.
Y'all got a minute. 10 to 6. Where is it? And how do they get on? 10 to 6. Y'all got it today.
You will probably have to go to it. It has website on here. Let me see. If I can pull it up real quick. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. It's a job. But if I can wait online for food, I can wait online for a job. We okay.
Gotcha. It's under it's at the Department of State, Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. And you want the website?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's virtual job fair will be held on Reddit, REDDIT.
REDD?
Yes, DDIT.
Okay.
.com.
Okay.
/R/Commonwealth _H.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Because I got to update. Wait a minute.
No problem.
Commonwealth. Okay.
_of _PA.
First of all, he knows what an underscore is, because I would have been trying to explain that forever. Reddit.com /R/ Commonwealth _of _PA, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's up there. Go there now. Register. If you are a veteran and you want one of those nursing jobs, just make sure that you get on over there. Today you got till 6 o'clock. And then finally, he also told us that, hey, they're hiring in the community because they're hiring for Target.
Yes, they're hiring at Target for veterans. They have several different positions open. You had to go to the veterans website, and they have everything on there listed on what they're hiring for and where to apply.
So you don't go to Target, you go to veterans website.
Yes.
What is that? Is that
because I'm assuming you're going to use your veterans discount or your veterans ability to do it.
The veterans ID
preference. Veterans preference. Give me 1 second. I don't know why I took it down.
It's all positions.
Yes.
I have one. You sent me one. Wait a minute.
Yes, it's on there. Yes, so Target is looking for, so it's jobs.target. Yes, it is at Target website.
Okay.
So it's at jobs.target.com.
Okay. And then you /.
Yep.
Search
jobs /
Philadelphia. Jobs.target.com /search jobs Philadelphia. Okay, y'all. So if you're one that, then they're hiring across all. So they're hiring for greeters, stock workers, they're hiring for cashiers, and they're hiring for the Target at home. So the stuff that you need to bag up in the store. So for those that as they're doing the shopping, kind of like what is it, ship it or whatever in the store. So they're hiring across all Target locations and across all Target departments. And there's a veterans preference. So if you have one, if you know someone who's a veteran, please put them on, because right now Target's giving the $2 hazard pay, for no other way to put it, but they've actually upped their normal pay scale by $2 for whatever area you're in. So in Philadelphia, a starting Target job was $11.90. So now it's $13.90. And he's over here becoming the mass crusader because Ted made sure that he reached out to the community to solve community needs. So one of the needs was, Ted said, we don't have any masks. What do you mean we don't have any masks? Let's make some masks.
We need some masks for us.
For us, by us.
For us, by us, in our community. Yes.
Now, I actually had to ask all these questions because I had become a mask connoisseur. Now it's sad, you know how you used to go shopping and you had all these things that you knew what you wanted to do when you went shopping, like, oh, you started feeling for the texture. And so this is Danyl buying a mask. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So Ted, do you have the pocket in your mask so that the filters can fit in?
Oh, absolutely. All of our masks are 100% cotton, double-sided, cotton on the front, cotton on the back, and we also have the pocket in the rear so you can put your filter, coffee filter, paper towel, whatever you feel comfortable putting in there. They're hand washable. So you take them, wash it at night, dry it on the sink, and ready to go the next morning.
And then this is what I mean when I say I didn't become a mask connoisseur. So I wear my mask like I'm supposed to. Okay.
Uh-huh.
When I don't have my when I can't find a surgical one, then you got to go to the cloth ones. And my problem is the roll down on the ears. Anybody else doing that? They're like, you put the mask on and then I don't know if my ear not big enough, it's too low. I don't know. So Ted told me that he actually solved this problem. So what'd you do, Ted?
So in my mask, a lot of people sew the elastic on, so I don't sew it on. I actually just tie a knot at the end and I tuck it in. So if you ever get a mask from me, you need to adjust your mask. You can always just pull it out, adjust the knot, and then that'll give it your elasticities, whether you want it tighter or looser.
Okay. And how do they find you for a mask, Ted?
You can instant message me on social media under Theodore Smith.
It's under the Theodore, not the Ted one, because I got confused.
Yeah, okay. The Theodore Smith one, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Or my Instagram.
IG.
Mr. West Philly.
I knew that. I just like you said.
All one word.
I know. I saw it. So you can reach out to him. The masks are how much?
$10.
And how do they get one? Other than, so do you deliver them?
I do deliver.
Okay, so look at that. You see, I told you we're delivering, and Ted is going to do it socially distant, and he's going to leave it on your step and get step back away from you and make
and
sure
you can cash at me.
Well, obviously this is not COD. You got to pay in advance. Yes. Or, actually, I had somebody had something for me. They called me and said, okay, I'm coming outside now. And they put the envelope underneath the, can't tell you where they put it because you might find it. And then they told me it was there. And then they stood in the door and I had to go get it so I could go to the store for them. So, we can make a way out of no way always.
Yes. And I'll be dropping off yours later.
Thank you. Yes, because I'll be out here doing some more Ted advertisements. I told him he got to get a bonnet though, because y'all had me out here in the slap cap on the video yesterday. I want to be matching and swanky.
We're gonna make that happen.
I want the matching set. I gotta have a whole, pandemic ensemble. That's what we're doing now. This is my pandemic ensemble, and then I'm gonna keep it. And then 40 years later, it's gonna be some kid like, Nanny, why do you have this? Oh, I need it. We might have a pandemic. I just can't put that away. Ted gave me that. He brought me that during the pandemic. It's an heirloom. We're gonna pass it down. It's gonna be the Army surplus spam that I told y'all about that got me here. I told them the story of my birth. I'll tell you that offline.
Okay.
But the mask gonna be like that. So Ted is also a member of numerous community organizations. So what are they, Ted?
Well, one of which I know. Mill Creek on the Move, which is one of our community organizations, which basically focuses on the quality of life in the Mill Creek area. Also sit on Belmont Alliance Civic Association. The diaper bank is still open. So if you know anyone who needs diapers and powdered food formula for children, they do provide that along with clothing and also a lot resources for mothers and fathers to assist them with, the upbringing and raising of their children. I also sit on the 16th PDAC. This is police.
What is that? Stop saying it.
The Police Department Advisory Council is basically a liaison between the community and the police department to talk about issues that we have in the community and concerns, and how we can work with the community and how we can work with the police, and the police can work with the community.
Now let's talk about that.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm talking about that because so many people in our community they don't have a real. I know Dwayne. I know he got to get to all of them. The Mantua Civic Association. That's what I'm Glenn. Thank you for giving prompts, because Ted humble like me, and he be like, oh, I just do some things.
Yeah.
So, but we're gonna come back to that. Dwayne, is this? We've got to. It can't just be about what the police are doing to us.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to work with them. Yes, maybe we need to remind them that their purpose is to protect and serve, but one of those ways is by making them be valued members of our community. I work with the 19th Police District and the 18th Police District, because I sit right on that border.
Mm-hmm.
I sit right on that border. And you have to make yourself known, aware, know what's going on. It's not just what the police are not doing, because sometimes some of the failures that the police have, and I'm to be honest with y'all, are because our whole don't snitch society, in our communities. We know Juju shot that dude. We don't say nothing. And then it's the crime, the gun violence. We all have to work together. If we're in the midst of a pandemic and crime has not gone down, y'all.
Nope.
The murder rate was last 2 weeks ago. The murder rate was actually more still than the pandemic death rate. That was 2 weeks ago. We're more dying. But 2 weeks ago, we were still killing each other at a faster rate than this virus was killing us. That really says a lot about our communities, and we need to step up and do something about it. And one of those ways is working with our police and working with those liaisons, because that's the thing. Then the police know what are the real issues. Like example, I'm gonna tell y'all, when they started last year with taking back the block party permits, and they just said, hey, they're taking them back. I had no idea that so many blocks were hotbeds of police activity.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I was like, what do you mean? What police activity? And so I want to see the map. And I was like, oh wow, there really is a whole bunch of police activity. And I'm like, and I'm here and I'm outside, but I don't see it. And and it wasn't on the thing is, it wasn't on my block, which is a big block. It was on like little small blocks around the corner.
The Ducky blocks.
Huh?
The Ducky blocks.
Exactly. But I didn't know, because I'm, and the funny thing is, even though the crime was on Ducky blocks when I was growing up, I don't know why I decided that they stopped fighting on Ruby Street. I don't know. I don't know. I just decided they did or something. I don't know. But apparently Ruby Street still got the same problem that Ruby Street had.
Mm-hmm. That speaking on to your point about the nuisance blocks that can't have the block parties. Mm-hmm. I know the 19th and the 16th recently are having like workshops or seminars to kind of go over and explain why you're not going to have it and what you can do to get it back. So for those who don't know and would like some more information, just contact your district's community liaison or community officer, and they can give you some information on how to restore your privileges of having a block party.
And you can have them restored. And I don't know what we're going to be doing in the middle of the pandemic, because honestly, I think we're not going to have block parties this year for a different reason.
I don't think I'm going to many of them.
Yeah, huh?
I don't think I'm going to too many of them this year.
Yeah, either. I mean, honestly, because this group's of 50 or more. And I mean, I've never been to a block party that didn't have 50 people on it. So I really don't think that, because we're going to talk about the phasing. Did you see the phasing from Governor Wolf?
I saw some of it, but I didn't see the actual detailed plan. No.
Okay, so we can talk about a little bit of that. But based on the phasing, I really don't see that. Hey, Roger. Oh, this is interesting. People are fearful. They feel like the police are apathetic to their concerns. Well, Sharon, I think that's kind of what we're talking about. I think the apathy goes both ways. Mm-hmm. People are fearful. They feel like the police are apathetic to their concerns. What I have found is by and large, and I think it's like anything else, by and large, the people who decide they want to become police officers do those things for the right reasons, and they really are here to protect and serve. I believe that. And now they may get jaded, things may fall by the wayside, but you know what? Just small acts of kindness reminds them. Example, as I have this community block party, and that's actually how Ted and I first met. Somebody brought him to one of my community block parties.
Popping.
Exactly months ago. Huh?
It was popping.
Yeah, it was eons ago. But and the whole purpose of and that's the reason we called it a community block party, because the point was, to me, it wasn't just on my block. It's like 15 blocks in my area, and it's the whole point was to get everybody to know everybody else, so that you could feel comfortable walking around. And one of the things that we did, and this will be the 26th year of the block party, actually, if we were able to do it. And one of the things that we did was we invited the police out, not just the liaison, but the lieutenant and the captain. Come out and meet the people. And they did. And every year they do. They come and they walk the neighborhood. And that's how that relationship and trust started to build all those years ago. And then what the next year, well, let's say, we came and it was a whole different police captain, and we're like, we were devastated because it was a different police captain. But you know what? He continued that walking of the beat with his police officers, with his beat police officers, and I think that made folks in our community trust the police more. And also, the police were then able to identify who those folks were, who were the concerned folks in the neighborhood, who were the active folks in the neighborhood. And I think that it really did a better job for our neighborhood.
Absolutely.
I'm sure, that's what Tad, your goal serving on the advisory council.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to join, because I've been in a situation which was different. I was at a block party or a community event in a high crime area, I would say. And the police were there, but they were just sitting in their car. And I'm like, well, how are you going to do outreach? How are you trying to gain the trust of the people if you're sitting in the car just watching? And
so what do you do?
I watched them back.
Okay, you ain't do it right. Okay, let me tell you what I did. You walk over with some ribs, and you ask them if they want some.
Yeah.
That worked. I just want you to know that worked, because that was the last time they was in the car.
But you got to get out to get the ribs.
That's right. So that was the last time they were in the car. So
okay.
Seriously. As a matter of fact, after that, they started bringing a police car for the kids to get in, and actually in the front of the police car, to see it as a career and not as something to be fearful.
Absolutely.
Child, now this one is great. Dwayne Drummond, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because I'm going to tell you the real person that this is going to be addressed to is really Charlotte Greer Brown. Next week, she is hosting her the Elite 30 Association has put together a fabulous 3-day Zoom virtual town hall to really talk about Philadelphia, but specifically Black Philadelphia, in the age of Corona and beyond. That's the key, and beyond. So Dwayne said, what are we going to do with the aftermath when it comes down to trauma community? A plan to be planned for. Yes, we do. Because on top of that, and I've been talking about this for weeks now, the kids that are in school right now are not graduating, but mostly our kids, I would say probably from about 7. Because I think the ones who are even younger just don't really understand. I think that they know mom and dad are home, but they don't understand why. Because I've seen it just in the 7-year-old that I'm dealing with. He don't know why he can't go outside, but he's frustrated. He's tired of being in the house with me. He wants to go out. He wants to spread his wings, and that's going to live with him forever. But especially when you talk about these teenagers who had the reins put on them just when they were starting to see. Needing to see their own adulthood, they got spurred, and now we got young adults who are graduating school, and now they had their whole senior year stolen.
Yep.
That's all. They had a whole senior year stolen. I mean, right now I'd be ready for the prom dress competition. right? I mean,
Yeah, and all the pictures, right?
no dog in the race, but I'm here for everybody's kid prom send off, okay?
I
Because
know
it
that's
is
right.
a joy to behold. Everybody's so excited. It brings neighborhoods out. I'm used to watching the doors get decorated. Watching the girls, because for me, the prom was like the debutante ball. For the hood, basically.
Hmm.
This their first time they get to be dressed up like adults. Young men on their arm, the fabulous vehicle, it's all about them, the watching the kids do this, the college signing day. I'm like, I'm here excited with them. Like, I'm nervous. Like, are they going to match? Like, I mean, I am. It's just better than the NBA draft to me. Okay, it is, because this is our kids' future, and they had this stolen, and they are not going to know what to do. Um, Yes, please update us. We are on the table and not on the menu. We are
Hmm.
Mantua, Dwayne. Please follow Danyl Patterson for 190th. Follow the page. We do updates on this every week, but every couple of days. But I'm sure that come Monday we're going to start advertising for the emergency meeting, and we've got Black mental health specialists. We've got folks who are going to be talking about pardons, not expungement, pardons.
It's
We've
a
got folks
difference.
talking about the gun violence in our community. We've got folks who are going to be talking about our senior population and how to get them more involved and more protected. We've got folks who are going to be talking about the health disparities in our community. So it's really going to be going down for 3 days. It's 8 hours over 3 days. So it's not 8 hours straight. It's two and a half, two and a half, two and a half, kind of thing. And we'll definitely get you on that list for that Zoom, because I'm very excited. I'll be participating, and I'll be talking specifically about gun violence and legislation post Corona, because what we've seen is some failures from both. Okay.
Hmm.
We've seen failures because we've seen how strong the gun lobby is. As again, I don't know what going the House turned into protecting your Second Amendment, but Trump was able to make that pivot, and all of a sudden, everybody worrying about they right to bear arms. Like, okay, you can bear arms. Can you go in the House with it though? So there's that, and the legislation. Come on now, y'all saw what this legislation looked like, and I'm gonna just be frank. When you have non-lawyers drafting legislation, when you have politicians who are drafting legislation, not those folks who are impacted by it, what happens? We get stimulus packages that don't go to the communities. We get SBA loans that go to Fortune 500 companies. We get stimulus checks that people didn't find out we're subject to garnish until after the bill was passed, or folks who didn't get them because they had not filed taxes or didn't know how to get into, or systems that crashed because there were too many unemployment claims and the system doesn't know how to handle them, or unemployment claims that were falsely and inaccurately tabulated based on the work week thing. You know how many folks I know told they were going to get $150 a week in unemployment, and these are people who earn $70,000 and $80,000 a year. So let alone the extra $600, the initial was incorrect. So Dwayne, we're definitely going to be talking about all that. And Rhonda, this is exactly right. We need to protect and serve. That is what our police is here for. That's the oath that they take, that they are here to protect and to serve. And a part of that service means partnering with the community. A part of that protection. Oh, and you know what? Did you all see that? We've been advocating to let these prisoners out of our jails and prisons. Um, you know, we knew a couple of weeks ago that unfortunately, one of the COVID positive cases was the cell immediately next door to our former rep, Ovita Harrell Johnson, who has now herself been diagnosed with COVID. And our prayers are with her and her family. The ordeal has already been long. Continue to fight the good fight, and we'll see you when you come out of this nice and healthy. We are praying for you.
Yeah.
Pastor Waller he invited the Black Doctors Consortium in to make sure that we can get tested in our communities. And I told that Enon, I told you I was out at Penn Memorial yesterday and really saw the professionalism of seeing some folks look like me, get people who look like me some tests. And then Pastor Waller announces today that he tested positive for COVID. So this is ravaging our community. It really is, and it's scary. So the actual prison guards union actually wrote an amicus curiae brief in support of letting the prisoners out of jail at a more rapid rate.
Mm-hmm.
So the work of Kier Gray over at the Defenders Association does not go unnoticed. The partnership that she's made with the folks in the DA's office, Larry Krasner's office, to get that done have not gone unnoticed. We do thank you for recognizing that that's an entire population that we're still responsible for, as long as they're under the government's watch, just like foster children. We're responsible for their health and safety. So I'm really excited to see that union made the decision to try to protect their workers and the prisoners that they're responsible for overseeing. That was amazing to me.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that if I can chime in, that I personally think that we should also be aware of and understand is our own personal finances.
Okay.
And understanding that, we must have to save more. We can't depend on our job just solely to jump up and save us. And also the fact that, a lot of us who look like us, we run out and we spend our money on things like as far as Gucci and Prada and Louis Vuitton. Where are they at right now? That $500 belt you brought, did that put a meal on your table for these last 6
They're
months?
making $500 masks. That's what they're doing. I actually saw it. I don't know. That's what they're doing. But well, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I want to focus more on our goal to build wealth in our community. Mm-hmm. So for our families, one thing that you said early on here was that you wanted to make sure that you could leave a legacy for your family here in the 190th, as do I. And that legacy is not just monetary, it's also a true quality of life here in the 190th. And one of that comes along with being more, fiscally astute, because being more fiscally astute brings better schools, and not better schools because of gentrification, but better schools because we understand what we can demand as a community. Mm-hmm. We understand what we can fight for as a community. I mean, right now, you saw, we can't even worry about educating our kids. We were too busy worrying about could we feed them. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that one is more important than the other. I'm saying that just means that we were coming already from behind the 8 ball, because we were too busy worrying about how we were going to feed our kids. So it took us 3 weeks to get to the Chromebooks because we were busy worrying about how we were going to feed our kids.
A day late, dollar short.
But it's because of all the other ills that we had. But Ted, I'm not even, like I said, going to talk about all the other ills, because
yes,
I'm not. As I tell everybody, I want to make sure that we do better together.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the only way
that we do better together. So what I'm looking for is some strong partnerships like yours.
Absolutely.
To be able to continue to sort this community, and to be able to promote this community, so that we can see it, as thriving and viable and vibrant, someplace where everybody can reach their full potential.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm with you in that fight.
And and thank you, Ted. I appreciate that. Because again, you're somebody who's previously been in a race for the state rep seat, so what it's like to be out here. And I'm sure, like, being out here in the middle of a pandemic, this is a whole new world, y'all.
You got it.
Yeah. So all we can do is make sure we're bringing the resources, we're bringing the assets, we're bringing everything that we have to bear, so that we can fight this here thing together. I'm reminding everybody again, putting up the phone number 267-291-4702, 267-291-4702. If you need any assistance, you having a food insecurity, if you're having trouble with those unemployment compensation benefits, you having trouble trying to figure out how you can navigate all of the government websites, give us a call, because that's what we're doing. We're putting our time and our dime behind you. 267-291-4702. I'm here with Ted Smith, our community activist. Don't forget to reach out to him if you need to order some masks, if you have any questions or concerns, or if you just want to stay in the loop. Make sure that you follow Ted Smith's page, Theodore Smith. He's all official. So, because he'll always let you know where he is. We thank you all for joining us together. And I'm Danyl Patterson, reminding you that together we will do better.
Vote Danyl Patterson, 190th, June 2nd.
Oh, thanks, Ted. Thanks.